Showing too much cleavage with an interview with Hollywood heartthrob Hugh Grant.
My dad used to blame our dog for blowing off all the time. Maybe
Dads do that. That is a well-known dad thing.
It's true. He found it a little bit more difficult when he tried to blame his 3-year affair on our dog. I'll just say for the record, my dad hasn't had an affair. But...
Susanna, what?
She knows her mind. She knows what she means. She means, why are women better drivers?
Yeah, and the answer is because they haven't got anywhere important to go. Apart from Susanna, who's really important, and the women in this room.
Do you think... How come the Stig has never been a woman? How come there's no Formula One women drivers? Because I have 2 very quick tests to do to see if somebody's a woman.
He's done it on me. It was awful.
And that's why I don't want to know. Men seem to think that speed is some indication of being good. I promise you, Goldie, it's not.
It is.
It's not.
It's a clear indication of being cool. Look at this.
My understanding.
No one really enjoys a hum, apart from the person who's humming, though, do they? You don't walk past someone who's humming and go, wow, what a lovely hum that is. Thank God we don't have hummingbirds in this country. We don't, do we?
Of course we do. We most definitely do not.
You know for definite.
Oh, Mr. Definitive.
Most definitely do not. How do you know that?
Because they're exotic, aren't they? When you see, like...
well, so
I actually disagree
so are profiteroles. You can get them all over the place. She's narrated a 6-part documentary series about the Merchant Navy. She once won a fiercely contested episode of Celebrity Mastermind, beating off stiff competition from a Premiership footballer, Bungle from Rainbow, and this pineapple. She's the first ever host of the award-winning daytime series Loose Women. It's Kay Adams.
I think I can top that. When I was teaching, I used to be a teacher. I used to do a game. With the kids to kill time, where we'd all sit round and talk about something that had really made us laugh, and all the kids were sharing these really hilarious stories. And it got to this one girl, and she couldn't stop laughing. She was in absolute hysterics, saying, "Oh, my budgie was flying around the kitchen, and then it accidentally flew into the deep fat fryer." And she said, just for a second, it came out. just before it was finally deep fried.
No.
Oh, no!
I'd be terrified.
It's easy.
You haven't done it.
I do it all the time.
There's only one man that does that all the time, and his name is Jeb Corliss, and he's the base jumping, like, amazing thing on YouTube.
Yeah,
have you seen those?
No, I know Jeb. Yeah. Makes a big fuss, makes a big song and go... Have a look, okay? Jeb! Jeb. All right, Lloyd.
I had no idea that you were into that wingsuit stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the trendiest wingsuit you've got there, though.
No, it's not, is it? You'd think it'd been made in, well, I don't know, 10 minutes before the show, wouldn't you?
I learned a load about owls, and I thought they're the coolest bird. I would love to be an owl. Do you know?
Turn their heads.
Ask me anything about an owl. Yeah, they can turn their heads.
How far can they turn their head?
Well, all the way. Imagine an owl who just got round there and went, oh, God.
I thought it was only halfway.
No, they can turn them all the way around, 360.
No,
They keep going 360 like 30 times and then just go...
In fact, you get their head and go...
You can actually use them as a hand blender, can't you?
You can.
Can we get all of these questions out? Is it acceptable to use an owl as a hand blender?
Have you ever tried holding an owl?
I haven't, no.
I have, but not face down in a smoothie. What do you think, Greg? What do we miss more, the sun or the moon?
Well, obviously the sun.
What do you mean, obviously?
Well, the moon's rubbish, isn't it?
Why is the moon rubbish?
It affects 2 things. The tides. Who wants tides? People get drowned in tides. And moths. Who cares about moths? They're like stupid birds. I would happily press a button now and get rid of all moths and tides. Boop, and the moon.
But aren't women meant to be governed by the moon?
Fine. Boop.
Here. It takes 8 minutes for the light from the sun to get to Earth, travelling at 700 million miles an hour. Wow. If the sun were to disappear, we would only have 8 minutes of sunlight left.
What would you do? 8 minutes of sunlight left.
At 7 minutes and 59 seconds, I'd do this. Hey, everyone, watch this.
Let's have a question from Jeff.
Hi, Rhod. It's Jeff Goldblum here. I've been watching the show for 7 weeks now, and frankly, I'm sick of seeing Lloyd getting stitched up. What I want to know is, when's that grotesque, critically obese, swamp-toothed Greg going to get his comeuppance?
Jeff Goldblum. Good question from Jeff Goldblum there. What do you reckon, Lloyd?
I think Jeff makes a fair point.
So do I. I think Jeff makes a fair point as well. Greg, you've got away pretty cleanly off this series so far, if I remember rightly, if I cast my mind back over all 7 shows.
I wasn't victimising Lloyd for any of that. It is in the name of science.
Well, maybe in the name of science, some serious experiment should be conducted on you.
Oh, God.
Greg, up you go. This week's experiment, Greg is going to see what life is like without the sun.
Right.
Greg, you're on an exercise bike because we thought that without the sun, you might, A, get cold, and B, you might need to generate your own electricity. So I think you should start pedalling.
Right.
And I should let you know, if we think that you're not pedalling fast enough and the temperature drops, then you will feel a temperature drop. Of course, if the sun disappeared, Lloyd, you guys holding a... What's that, an eye mask? It would be dark. It'd be pitch dark. Pop that on. Of course it would. I imagine... You haven't started pedalling enough yet, Greg. I imagine the temperature would already be dropping now.
All right, I'm pedalling.
Pedal to keep yourself warm. I imagine you're not pedalling fast enough. Lloyd, make the temperature drop. Will you please? Just quickly get on with it, please. Oh, Greg, you've stopped pedalling. You've stopped pedalling, Greg. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it going, I would. Keep it going. I imagine that without the sun for a little, any length of time, his pigmentation would start to disappear, wouldn't it, Lloyd? Wouldn't he start to get very pasty, I imagine? Let's see what Greg might look like. Oh, he has gone very pasty. Keep pedaling, Greg. Lloyd, I imagine people would start to use some kind of fake tan, wouldn't they? They're bound to, quickly. Let's get some fake tan. I mean, he looks very peaky at the moment. That's better. He seems to have stopped pedalling again, Lloyd. The temperature might be dropping again. The temperature will be dropping again. I imagine in a world without the sun as well, that night animals would be running riot. Urban foxes would be going through our rubbish. I imagine there'd be bin bags full of rubbish going everywhere, wouldn't there, Lloyd? Oh, it would be awful. Keep pedalling, Dave. You don't want to get going. Keep pedalling. I imagine, Lloyd, as well. Would it be very difficult to find food? And there'd probably be only tin food available, wouldn't there? Only tin food, I imagine. Let's get some nice tinned food. Oh, don't tell me that in the darkness, Greg has picked up dog food by mistake. Oh, but he's... That's ridiculous! Lloyd, have you got anything there that might take the taste away of that horrible dog food? Is there anything you can lay your hands on that might keep Greg warm at the same time as taking the taste of...
That better not have been dog food, genuinely.
Look what we found hanging over from show 4. I don't know if you remember show 4, Greg, when you fed Lloyd something. Try this.
Oh, no!
Try that. Have a good old bite. And he stopped pedalling again. He stopped pedalling. Let's get it.
Please!
Keep pedaling. I imagine...
Oh, my God!
Did you not enjoy the chili from show 4, Greg? Do you not remember feeling...
Oh, my God!
You seemed a lot happier when you fed that to Lloyd.
Where's the ice?
Listen, I imagine Lloyd, because would Greg be the only person left? He'd have to keep the human race going, wouldn't he? He'd have to try and reproduce with whoever was around. I imagine with the sun gone and everybody dead, there's probably you and only the strongest, fittest people would survive, isn't it, Lloyd?
That's entirely true. I'm afraid to let you know, Greg, that the only other person left alive is Glenn Ross, Britain's current strongest man.
Oh, no! Oh, no, Greg! It seems that you and Greg